Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Hey, welcome into another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, your bite-sized business advice. I'm excited for this episode. We got a guest here, and we are talking about marketing, but also the single most important thing you can do to love your business. I have no idea how those two things come together and make a podcast episode, but we are going to find out. I want to welcome on my guest, Deb Monfette. Deb, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Brandon, thank you so much. I'm really going to be enjoying this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's unpack that first and foremost, because you specialize in marketing, which is what you do is very creative. We're going to dive in there. But how do you specialize in marketing and also loving your business? Where's the link between the two?
Well, you really can't do one without the other. I've been around for over 3 decades and in corporate plus in my entrepreneurship. And I really dove into the entrepreneurial life in the last couple of years since COVID. And I've taken probably, 40 different types of courses and challenges. And I've done things myself and had so many mentors, mentored by the best. And I've just seen some things that made me shift my whole perspective. So I call it marketing from a new vibration, but in reality, it's your business. And I work with coaches, consultants looking to make 6 figures and beyond to simplify their thinking, what they offer, and how they communicate it so they can build a business they love while attracting and delighting their best fit clients at a deeper level. And I call it your talk, T-O-C, before your talk, T-A-L-K. And it doesn't matter where you are in your business. You can adjust your business to just simplify it. If things are too complicated in this world, they don't have to be.
Now you're speaking my language. That's what we always say. What we do, we are the lazy business consultants. We want to do the least and get the most out of it. And I think, we make that joke, but it's so true. Like, people don't want to do more in this life. What's the point of just working more, working harder to get the same result? So I love that you take that approach. But I'm curious, you said you work with people who are looking to make 6 figures. Sounds like personal income, not just revenue in their business, which is fantastic. I want to kind of take a step back, though. What do you find when people come to you is that one thing that's holding them back from crossing that barrier for the first time?
Well, sometimes they're not even sure. Like, you have people that think it's one thing, but it could be another. And that's where the single most important thing you can do in your business is to really understand your natural strengths. And I call it your number one genius. And the funny thing is, I'd probably say 80% of the time, it's not what you think. I've had people totally reconfigure their business or their thinking, and they just make an impact within an hour. I mean, it's things that when you're in your business, you're so close to it that you're not seeing what other people can see. And so sometimes you need that little impactful nudge or understanding what you're really good at and what you really like to do. Because in business, we seem to need to do everything. And that usually doesn't work.
Never works.
Yeah.
And it's never fun.
No,
and you fall out of love with your business, which is what we're talking about here. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm tracking with that. And I'm curious what the link is between what you just said and the name of your company. The name of your company is iMatter Marketing. Is there a little bit of crossover between finding your zone of genius and the name of your company?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. And I've been working through this in the last year, especially, and things just keep popping up and I just do them as they come out because I'm really a creative. And it boils down to basically human core desires of an entrepreneur. And everybody tells you, oh, your messaging isn't tight enough. You need to dive deeper into their pain, their desires. And people usually don't do it this deep. But there really are three core entrepreneurial desires that everyone has, whether you're selling to clients that are entrepreneurs or yourself. And they are growing, belonging, and mattering. Everybody wants to grow their income, grow their following, grow their clients, grow their happiness. And people want to feel like they belong with communities, with just whatever they're doing. And they want like excitement. They want experiences. And three is people really want to feel that they matter. And when they get the education to understand how to use it, they feel that they do have the value, because a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they don't have value, and they do. It's just that they're not using the right tools to bring that out. So those are the three core human desires that your whole business can be based on.
That's interesting. And I know you have a way to uncover those for people, which I do want to talk about, but we brought up the name of your company, and you just shared with me before we started recording something about popsicles and how the name. So we just have to get sidetracked for a minute. Tell me the story of how you came on this name, which is not how you started your business, but I have to hear this.
Okay. My business before was irresistible content. And I knew that there was something that wasn't right about it. It's much more than content, and it's deeper than that. That to me is a little, it wasn't a fit. So I kept hearing this word. People say, I matter, I matter, I matter. And I kept thinking, wow, that's interesting. And then I attended a webinar with Dan Heath. And it all boils down to the popsicle hotline. And Dan Heath presented his new book, The Power of Moments: Why Certain Experiences Have Extraordinary Impact. And what he was explaining is he was in LA, and there are three top hotels in LA according to TripAdvisor. One is the Beverly Hills Hotel, the Hotel Bel Air, and the Peninsula Beverly Hills. But there's a fourth one. Actually, I should back up. Those three, you can get a room for like $700 a night, and probably more. But TripAdvisor gives a fourth, and they call it the Magic Castle Hotel, and you can get it for $199. So he went there to test it out. Basically, it's a converted 2-story apartment complex from the 50s, and it's painted yellow. His room with the view was basically a back alley. And he's like, why is this number 4? This doesn't make sense when you have all these, luxurious hotels for 700 plus. So we went back into he went out into the pool area, which was called Olympic size, but it's like really a backyard pool. And there was a hotline phone, and it was called the Hello Popsicle Hotline. And what you could do is pick, it's really hot, of course, in LA in the summer, and you're sweating, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I just need a break, and the pool's warm. So you call the popsicle hotline, and there's a concierge that comes up wearing white gloves and delivers your popsicle on a silver platter for free. So it pays big time for the hotel to do this, because people love it. And the kids are like going wild, because it's like a really experience for them. So he explains that the external almost doesn't matter. It's the extraordinary experience that you create. And so somebody said, well, why? And he said, because I feel like I matter when I go there. And I have that popsicle, and it's delivered to me. It's a small gesture, but it's delivered to me on a silver platter. And that's when I said, that's the last time I hear that word. I got off the webinar. In fact, I had my website created. I had my CRM all set up, all of my emails, everything, funnels. And I said, I have to change the name and, readapt my company. And I did. So now it's iMatter Marketing. If that makes sense.
You know what? You said popsicle hotline to me before we started recording, and I'm like, Deb's lost her mind. I don't know what she's gonna say here, but I've actually heard that story before, and I just connected the dots. That is such a cool inspiration for your company name, but also to connect back to your mission and what drives you to help people with their marketing, because it's very clear that it's about both connecting the individual to their message, to their customer. And I love that you just wrap that whole thing together with popsicles of all things. That's awesome. All right. So thank you for getting sidetracked with me, because I was too curious about that. But now moving into how you help your clients, you have a tool, you have an assessment, which I took, and just disclaimer, I'm going to be on Deb's interview series in a week or so. So we're not going to go over my results here. I'll put the link to that episode in the show notes, so you can come watch me on Deb's show and follow Deb, all the beautiful things. But I want to hear you unpack your inspiration behind this assessment, how you created it, and what kind of clarity it gives your clients to uncover their marketing personality, if you will.
Well, in your business, it really all starts with you. It starts with what you really like doing, what you enjoy doing. Because if you're doing something just to get the money, you're gonna just fizzle out eventually. So that's why it's so important to start with you. So it starts with the quiz. It's a self-discovery quiz, knowing your number one, I call it your marketing genius, because in the end, that's what you're doing. You're marketing your business. And then the importance of that is that it's funny how it works, but it goes into every facet of your business. I mean, I've had a guy who got stuck because he was shifting his avatar, his best fit client, to the financial end, financial people services. And so he couldn't figure out how to shift his process, and he was sitting on it for weeks. So after we went through this exercise, he was so excited because he realized what he was and why he was holding back, that he jumped in. I didn't even tell him to do this. He jumped in that night and he came up with a complete outline. Like, it just frees up your mind. It removes the blocks. It just gives you like that spark of energy, even if it's just, oh, now I know why I wasn't doing that. Like, for instance, if the three characters are basically the ATM, CMS, and we. So it's the action taker and maker, creative mover and shaker, and the wise educator. So if you're a creative mover and shaker, one thing that I found in my research was that consistency does not come natural to you. I'm a CMS too. I'm a CMS basically. And consistency doesn't come natural to me. I have to work at it. I could never understand why, and it used to really tick me off because I wanted to be, but I just would lose the spark. Now I understand why. So if I introduce some creativity into the fact of being consistent, I can be more consistent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I'll say I resonate with that one. And what's interesting about what you said, though, is people they want to throw terms around like ADHD and these different diagnoses. And I'm not a doctor, but I would present some of those symptoms, if you will. I'm cool with it, though. That's just my personality. That's who I am. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are. We have the shiny object syndrome. Something I've noticed, though, is like you said, like if I'm creating, and this is not just me, other people that I work with and partner with, same thing. If we are creating and we're coming up with new ideas, even if it's along the same path, it feels new and different, and it's very easy to continue with it. Versus like the execution of things. I always joke, my wife gets on me. She's like, you are like the 90% person. She's like, you will do something 90% of the way, and then the last 10%, you just have this garage full of unfinished projects. I'm like, I know, it got boring. I moved on. But yeah, it's exactly what you were saying.
And that's why, and then, you think like there's something wrong with you, but there isn't. That's just your inborn nature. So you have to try to figure out how to navigate that. And if you really think about it, there are ways. So even like when I do a webinar or I do a masterclass and I have to do slides, there are people that, wanted me to do it in like an Excel spreadsheet, which I get the hives with Excel, but I do use it. So what I like to do is I do it all visually in Keynote, and I can get it done in, 15, 20 minutes, where it takes me hours in Excel. It's just because I shifted the way I do things, and it's okay. And it came out fine. And you would never know I didn't use that Excel spreadsheet. In fact, it's probably even better because I have my heart into it and I'm more motivated to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this whole discussion is you're finding what works for you and what will make you the best version of yourself in this context with your marketing and your content and creating things, but in all forms of life. Same exact content. Leverage your personality and you'll have a much better experience. So yeah, Deb, thank you for sharing this with us. First of all, iMatter Marketing is on the screen below me. It'll be in the show notes. If you're listening to this episode, you can go take that assessment. It took, I think it took me less than 5 minutes. Very, very quick. The report on the back end was phenomenal. I can't wait to dive into that with you on your show in a few weeks. But I'm curious, when clients go through this and they understand their personalities and how to leverage their creative genius and their skill sets, what kind of a difference do you see in their market, but not only the creation of their marketing, the conversion and attraction of their ideal client?
Well, it really, number one, it lights them up. And this moves into the whole, it's like I said, it's like a tightrope. So it goes from your strengths, it moves into your process, because people buy results, but they don't just buy results, they buy your process because they want to know how to get the results, and they want to know that you know what you're doing. So they really want your process. So this moves into the process. So your process picks up those same traits of action, creative experiences, education. And then, so it filters it down. And if you hit those three areas, you automatically hit growing, belonging, and mattering. You don't even have to think about it. So you're reaching your customer in a deep level without having to stew over it, because there are different ways you can apply action-oriented things, experiential, and just like the popsicle, experiential and experiences into things, and also education, because those are the three things that people need. And the three ways you need to teach or you need to communicate your process. So it's an easy filter throughout. It's easy for people to understand. And then it goes into your offers. So you can streamline those offers, and then you can communicate it through your content using those three buckets. So it simplifies everything, but it communicates at the deepest level for your customer.
It's so brilliant, because it sounds like the result that we're all after is almost like a side effect of just using your process. That's brilliantly designed, Deb. A+ to you.
Oh, and one thing I wanted to add, so I call it the three marketing genres, like in the movies. So action, creative experiences, and education. But I put a little magic into it. So I added characters. And the characters what makes it come to life. So it's the cheetah, the spider, and the elephant.
Add characters, and I didn't like them.
But the thing is, when you're in creative mode, then people say, I've had people text me, I'm a spider today. Tomorrow I have to be a cheetah. So I'm something they take the character and they kind of make it fun. So instead of having it be a drag, it's kind of like, oh, I'm a cheetah today. I'm the fastest animal in the world. Like it. And I did a challenge, and they even wore cheetah clothes. So it was like fun. It's almost like let's open this business of, drab, boring business, and just put some fun into it.
Yeah, I love that you put fun into it. That's one of our things here at What If, and it's in our logo. There's a play button if you're watching behind me. The play button is in our logo for a reason. If you're not having fun in business, if you're not having fun in your marketing, you're just doing it wrong. Fall back in love with your business. That's what we're talking about here today. Deb, I love it. I love everything you said about except the spider. I hate spiders. I'm just terrified.
Get over your fears.
No, actually, funny story. So I got an email yesterday from a business partner of ours and someone we work with, and it said, I found a spider in my room, a tarantula, photos included. I didn't open the email. I deleted the email. Like, I don't care what this content is. I'm not even looking at it. So yeah, I got a major problem. Maybe you can help me get over that with your assessment and your
okay, let's do it.
All right, awesome. Deb, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom on marketing and how we can fall back in love with our business by leveraging who we really are at our core and making things easier. I think that's the whole point. Like, marketing for me in the past, it used to be a chore and something I had to think about a lot, but then I just leaned in and be authentic, be yourself, and leverage your personality and who you are, what you're good at. Things start to fall into place. So I love that you have a path for people to do that too. So again, it's on the screen, imattermarketing.com. It'll be in the show notes. Go visit Deb, check out the assessment, go take it for yourself, take the 5 minutes, and just see who you are and how to leverage that for your marketing to take it to the next level. So Deb, thank you again for being here. Subscribers, watchers, listeners, wherever you are, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another second of this ridiculous show where we help you grow your business in bite-sized chunks at lunch. We'll see you on the next episode.
Oh, one more thing. Oh. Everybody, every day, every single day, tell yourself, I matter. That's my message. I could
not have ended on a better note. Shame on me, Deb, but thank you to you. You matter.
Thank you
for mattering. And thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.